The story of the Ice Age king, Mammoth. Imagine that you have traveled back 20,000 years. Everywhere you look, there is nothing but snow, and the cold winds are shaking the bones. Suddenly, in the distance, you hear the heavy footsteps that make the earth tremble. Emerging from the mist is a giant shadow, nearly 13 feet tall, weighing 6 tons, covered in thick brown fur. A woolly mammoth. These creatures resembled the ancestors of today's elephants, but nature had given them a supersuit to survive the icy storms. They had 3-foot-long hair on their bodies and a thick layer of fat under their skin. Their 15-foot-long curved tusks were not just for show. They used them to clear snow, search for buried grass, and defend themselves from predators. These peaceful creatures lived in herds and consumed over 200 kilograms of grass a day. But then time turned, and the king of the Ice Age was forever buried in the pages of history. How did mammoths go extinct? The extinction of mammoths was not a result of a single day or event. It was a long and painful process driven primarily by 3 major factors. Climate change. About 10,000 years ago, the Ice Age began to end. The Earth's temperature started rising, and glaciers began to melt. Mammoths, dependent on the cold environment and specific grasslands, mammoth steppe, began to disappear. Their habitats turned into swamps and dense forests where survival became impossible. Hunting by early humans. At the same time, early humans had developed new hunting techniques and sharp weapons. Hunting a mammoth was like finding a treasure for humans. A single hunt provided weeks' worth of meat for the entire tribe. Their thick hides were used to make clothes and tents, and their massive bones were used to construct shelters. The excessive hunting by humans rapidly reduced the mammoth population. Last refuges and sad end. Most mammoths had disappeared about 10,000 years ago. However, some mammoths survived on an isolated island near Russia, called Wrangel Island. These mammoths were isolated from their main group. Due to genetic diseases, inbreeding, and limited food, the last mammoth bid farewell to this earth around 4,000 years ago, when the pyramids were being built in Egypt. What is mammoth's DNA, and what is its secret? After thousands of years of mammoth's extinction, scientists worldwide are excited about their DNA. What is DNA? You can think of DNA as nature's hard drive or recipe book. It is a genetic blueprint of any living being, containing coded information about the formation of its body, hair color, and structure. How did scientists obtain mammoth's DNA? Preserved in permafrost. Since mammoths died in very cold regions, their bodies remained perfectly preserved in permafrost, permanently frozen snow, for thousands of years. The snow acted as a natural freezer. When scientists extracted these bodies from the snow, they found mammoth hair, blood, tusks, and muscles, almost intact. Reading coding with supercomputers. Scientists extracted mammoth's DNA from the cells of these frozen bodies. Over time, this DNA had degraded slightly, but with modern technology, scientists have pieced together its entire genetic code. Relationship with Asian elephants. The biggest revelation from this DNA is that mammoths are very closely related to today's Asian elephants. Their DNA matches up to 99.6% with Asian elephants. Can mammoths be brought back? The magic of science. The preserved DNA of mammoths has given birth to a miraculous dream in the scientific world: de-extinction, bringing back an extinct species to Earth. Today, companies like Colossal Biosciences are using a gene editing technique called CRISPR. They are integrating specific mammoth genes into the DNA of Asian elephants, which provided them with thick fur, small ears, and the ability to withstand cold. Scientists' goal is not to recreate the old mammoth, but to create an Arctic elephant that closely resembles the mammoth. They believe that reintroducing these creatures into the Arctic's snowy regions will help improve the environment there and aid in combating global warming. If this scientific experiment is successful, perhaps in the coming years, we may once again see the King of the Ice Age striding proudly on Earth. Would you like me to provide more in-depth information about this scientific process, gene editing, to bring back mammoths?